1976 film Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, is such a great movie. I was so excited to see that this was on the list for the potential movies to review in these vlogs because I've seen this movie so many times. I've seen the remake, the 2013 one with Chloe Grace Moretz. I love this film so much. Like I said, I've seen it a few times and I just love it. It was so exciting that this was finally on the review vlog list because I love this film. And I've seen this one a few times. I've seen the remake in 2013 with Chloe Grace Moretz. And if you've seen the new show on Netflix, I'm Not Okay With This, then you know that one of the opening scenes in the first episode is very clearly referencing this film. And it's just such an iconic film that they continue to use it today. And it's been remade quite a few times. And obviously, very clearly, it is based on the book by Stephen King. And we all know Stephen King, one of the greatest horror genre men of our time. And so this was a really great film. Personally, I think that this film is one of the best book adaptations from Stephen King. Like there are others, It Chapter 2, Misery, everything like that. It Chapter 2 was a little disappointing. Misery is great, I love Kathy Bates. But this film really stands out among the rest of the other remade films. If you haven't seen the 1976 Carrie or the remake, or if you haven't read the book, very quickly, Carrie is about a girl named Carrie who is on the outside of the crowd. She doesn't have friends, and this is because her mother is very, very Christian, and she's raised her in a way that makes her seem very weird to other kids. And one day in gym class, when they're showering, because they used to do that, and it's really weird, but anyway, when they were showering, Carrie got her period. As a girl, if you get your period and you know about it, it's still pretty traumatizing. So having no idea what it is and getting it is a really significant event. So it makes sense that she was freaking out. But if someone came to me and touched me with their bloody hand from their insides, from that specific spot, I would also freak out. But anyway, these girls harass Carrie very intensely and they do not let up. And honestly, Chris, the main girl who attacks Carrie, is an evil witch. And Carrie might be a witch, but Chris is an evil witch. And she just doesn't stop making fun of Carrie and torturing her and making her feel like she's insignificant. And so the story continues, and Carrie gets invited to prom by one of the popular girl's boyfriends, and everybody knows him and they think it's weird that he's going to prom with Carrie. But Chris has a backstabbing plan for Carrie, and when she wins prom queen, she pours pig blood all over her, and then Carrie loses it and kills probably 95% of what I would assume would be the junior and senior class because they're all at prom. And then she goes to kill Chris and her boyfriend. I believe acting is one of the most significant parts of this film. Like some films, you know that it's really technically advanced, and I'm not saying this film isn't, but I'm saying acting in this film was picture perfect. It was a tier above the rest. Sissy Spacek does such an amazing job portraying this girl. The way that she dedicates herself to this character and puts everything she has into it. I mean, she makes you so uncomfortable in the final scenes where she is committing all the murders that you are just sitting there like, wow, she knows what she's doing. And Chris is a dedicated mean girl. I mean, I truly believe that if I were to meet Chris in person, I would be like, wow, you're horrible, because she just does such a great job. And although Sue isn't a huge part in the story, she definitely comes into play more at the end and towards the middle of the story, and she just portrays this I'm sorry for what I did act really well, and I really commend all of these actresses for doing such an amazing job. But one person I really want to mention in particular is John Travolta. John Travolta plays the boyfriend of Chris, and he is the one who kills the pig to get the pig blood, and I was so uncomfortable watching the scene where he kills the pig because he does such a great job of making it seem like he's in this for murder and he is just out to get people, that I was like, oh my gosh, John Travolta's crazy, because I don't remember him playing this role because I watched it a few years ago. But seeing him do that and portray that was pretty wild. He did a really great job. But I also want to mention, someone needs to tell this man how to drink beer. If I have to watch John Travolta spill beer all over his face when he's drinking it one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Another actress I want to talk about is the woman who plays Carrie's mom. She is crazy. The way that she really stuck to the Christian values in this film and just hammered them in over and over and over was great. Scene at the end where she is going after Carrie and she's sitting there and she's sobbing and making it seem like this thing that she's horrible and sad about, and then 2 seconds later she completely switches her acting and turns into this murderous mom is so great, and I really love all of the acting in this film. Another big part of this film is its technical aspects. This film delivers on all hits, I believe. Because there's the scene where Carrie is at the prom and the blood's already been spilled on her and she is killing all of these people, and they split the screen either in half or in threes at different points in time, and you get such that great sense of simultaneous action, but you never lose focus on Carrie and the fact that she's the one doing all of this, because one of the screens is always focused on her. So the idea that you can see her so focused and intent on killing these people while watching them all die in pretty horrific ways is so impressive, and it does so much for this film. Another scene that I feel is really important and I really loved is the scene where at the very end, Carrie's mom is dressed in white, which we all know white is the color of purity, and she's going to kill Carrie. That's her plan. She's going to kill her. And before she does that, she's dressed in white, and then she gets on her knees and tells Carrie that she had sex before marriage, and as a very strong Christian, we all know that that is a sin. And so she's wearing white, but she's proving to us that she is impure and she is not what she claims to be. And then we go on and she tries to kill Carrie, which is also a sin, which further induces the idea that she is not as pure as she recommends everyone else to be, or that she forces her daughter to be. And she doesn't get very far. She does stab Carrie once, but then Carrie gets her and stabs her multiple times. One hand up, one hand low, and then 3 or 4 shots in the chest, stomach area. And if you do watch this film and you pay attention, then you'll know that that is exactly how the Jesus is crucified in the closet that she locks Carrie in. And Jesus was crucified because he was taking the sin off of all of us. Well, now her mom is crucified because she believes that not only is she repaying for the sin that she does, but she is also taking the sin off of Carrie. If you love horror, there's probably a great chance that you love Stephen King, and he just produces some of the best horror pictures, books that have ever come out. And Carrie does not fall far from that perfection list that he's created, because it is such a great film with such great acting and such great technical camera skills, and it's based on the Stephen King story, which always makes it better. And like I said before, I think this is one of the best book adaptations from Stephen King, and it really hits hard in the horror genre. I think it's great, and I highly recommend it if you ever watch it or if you ever want to watch it, because it's personally one of my favorite horror movies. But overall, it's just a great film.